We all have a story, isn't it? And the story starts since we remember it. Sometimes we add what our parents, what our family has told us about our birth, the place of birth, and the story continues. It starts somewhere in past which we don't remember, or maybe partially remember, and then moves to the future, the way we think it will move. But is this our story? You can call it your own story when you believe on this mind and body complex as you. But you as awareness, and whenever you watch everything as your awareness, you can watch this story as watching any other story on the screen. And then what about the suffering? The suffering comes from the mind. And the suffering comes when you believe on this story. The suffering comes from the regrets of the past. Suffering comes from the anxiety about the future. And the suffering comes when we believe what the mind is saying to us, our thoughts. We have likes, we have dislikes. More stronger your likes and dislikes are, the situation might end, but the mind picks up that story and keeps repeating it because that's what you love. You have vested interest in that story. All psychologists, healers, doctors keep treating you with medicines, with psychotherapy, listening to your story. Do we have any remedy for end of suffering? The moment you stop listening to your mind, your thoughts, the story ends. The moment you are disinterested in the story, mind stops disturbing you. And how can you do that? The end of suffering is ignoring the mind story. You just stay as awareness, as an observer. Observe this body, observe your thoughts, and soon you will find there is a gap between you and your mind body. And this gap is the opening. More you stay as awareness, more this gap will be felt. The body will still be there, mind might still be there, but then the mind will be calm in its own restful state. And you have no interest in the story. And when you have no interest in your story, you have no interest in other stories connected to this body-mind. It doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you more compassionate. Because you know all the other people who are believing in this story of the mind-body are still in illusion. And you also know that all of them have the same awareness in the background as the screen on which this movie is going on. They only have to pay attention to this awareness, which is their true beingness. And the story drops. Drops in a sense, the story might still continue because the body and mind is there. Things were there in the past, happening now and in the future. But now you know that you are just an observer. So whether the story continues or stops, Who cares? And now you're free without suffering. So suffering is not in the things happening in our life. Suffering is how we take these things. We judge them, we critically analyze it. We have likes for things and dislikes for things. Things we want in a way, when they don't happen that way, we feel uneasy, we are unhappy, and we suffer. Suffering is our self-created. But in pure beingness, pure awareness, where everything comes as a blessing, even the things which people think as suffering, then you are already free. Free of the mind talk. And because now you are ignoring your mind and its talk, it also stops teasing you. And it gives you all your silence back. And that silence is the source of bliss. Calmness makes you peaceful, and that is infectious. Anyone or everyone who comes across you with an open heart can feel the same bliss, can feel the same peace. Because you emanate the same awareness in its purest form, without the filter of the mind and its thoughts. The filter of judgmental, critical, analytical, likes and dislikes is gone. You see things as they are, in their pure nakedness. Everything is you, and you are everything. But inside you are nothing. You are just an empty space of pure awareness, calmness, always in blissful state.